Hello and welcome to this EasyFox tutorial. Today is the part 2 of the messages handling in our chat application. So in the previous video, we have already implemented an API to handle messages in our server. Today, I'll show you how to handle messages in our client side. So let's open the client source code. So first of all, I want to add some CSS to my style.css in the message view package. So you can check out this code in the GitHub link I'll provide in the description. So let's paste this into the style.css. All right. So let's open the message view.jsx. So from here, I want to add some HTML here. So I want to replace the chat section with my new HTML. Okay, I'll have a heading chat channel ID. I'll have a div with the chat text panel. I'll have the final component, which is the chat panel. So let's see how it looks. All right, here it is. So let's log in. All right, so in the left side, we have the list of all users, and in the right side is the chat panel. So I have just added an input here and a button to send messages. If I click on a user, we have already obtained a channel ID, and now I want to display the channel ID here. So let's do it. Okay, so first of all, in the message view, I want to add a view to my chat controller. This that a default view, which the name change target channel, and I with an argument target, and I'll call this that update target channel target. Okay, let's implement that function. Update target channel target. Sorry, my typo here. Looks good. Okay, so with this one, I'll create a variable new target equal to target if target is not none. Otherwise, I'll return it. I'll give it the value of 0, and I want to set a state target channel to the new target. All right, and I also have to create a default value for the target channel, which is null. All right, and I want to display it to my HTML. So I extract the target channel state here, and I'll display it here. So it will be string, and I'll give it colon and plus the target channel, close the brackets. Okay, and I have to call change target channel whenever I receive a new channel ID, which is in the socket proxy. So when we receive the get channel response, I can call to the chat controller, which is the mvc.getController chat here. Okay, and then I can call the update views, change target channel, and I pass in the channel ID, which the server sent back to us. Okay, let's test with the browser. I'll log in, username test, password test 1234, login. And when I click on the test 1, for example, it gives me the channel ID of 2, test the channel ID of 3, and test 2, channel ID of 1, this one, channel 2. It looks good. Okay, now I want to input something in the input box here and then click send. So my client will send a request to my server with this message. Okay, let's do it. So first of all, I want to add a message state to my state, this state, with the empty string. Alright, and within the input component here, on change equal to this dot arrow function on message chain. I'll implement this method in a second. And on key down. So when I hit enter, I'll send this message to the server. Okay, and the button here we have an on click, which is this dot on send message click. All right, and of course the value of this input should be this dot state dot message. All right, looks good. Let's implement these methods right in here. So the first one is on message change with the event e, this dash s state message e dot target dot value, and the second one is on send message click with the event e as well. Let's the message extract the message from this dash state, and if the message is empty, we will do nothing. Otherwise, I'll set the message back to empty, and I'll call a new function, a new method, send message with the message content. Okay, and I'll implement the send message with the message argument. I need to call to send a request to the server here, but let's do it later. I'll implement the on enter first, which is an arrow function with the event argument. If the e dot key equal to enter, I'll call to this dot on send message click with the argument e. Alright, and in the send message, I need to extract the target channel from this dot state, and then I'll call to the sockets request singleton and call the method send message request and pass in the target channel. I need a target channel to know, which chat room I need to send the message to. Okay, let's implement this function, this method in the sockets request.js. I have two arguments. The first one is target channel. The second one is message, of course. And I'll call this .getup.send request with the new command send message. So this command is equal to 3 in our server. So I'll create a new property here. This should be 3, exactly the same as the value in our server. So they point to the same command. And the message will be message. And the channel ID will be target channel. Alright. Looks good now. When I click on the send button, it extracts this message and then send a request to our server. Okay, let's test the application now. Okay, test 1 2 3 4. Alright, when I click on a user here, for example test1, I'll send a message to the channel ID 2, the channel with the ID 2. Okay, for example, hello world, hello test1, for example. You can see here our client successfully sent the request to our server, but the server did send back a response to our client, but we don't have any listener to that response. So let's implement that listener now. Let's open the socket proxy, and then here I'll add set up app.add data handler with the command send message, and with the response app and data. Alright, first of all, I will extract the, so this response, it will, so remember in the API that we have already implemented in our server, so the server send a response with the channel ID and the chat logs to our client. So I'll extract the channel ID here and the chat logs equal to data, and let's log received send message response and log the channel ID and also log the chat logs. Alright, let's test the app again. Login. Test 1 2 3 4. Alright, test 2. Here it is. Oh, I need to send a message. Hello test 2. You can see here we receive the channel ID as 1, same as here, and the chat log where contains all the chat history. That's good. Now I'll display all the chat logs to this session. So let's do it. So first of all, I need to go back to my message view and add another view for my chat controller. Default view with the name update chat logs with the argument chat logs and the channel ID. This one is an arrow function. Alright, so here I'll only update the chat logs if the channel ID is equal to my target channel. Because if someone else send me a message, I only update the chat logs if that is my current conversation. Otherwise, I just do nothing. Okay, so I'll call this update chat logs here with the argument chat logs. Alright, let's implement that function. Update chat logs with the argument chat logs. And I'll call this says state chat logs equal to chat logs. And I need to specify a default value for chat logs. Chat logs equal to null. Right, and in the render function, I want to display all the chat logs here. So I'll loop through. Okay, I'll extract it from their state first. Chat logs here, and I loop through all the chat logs. If it is not null, I'll call map with the log and the ID I. And I want to return a h3 heading with the key equal to I and the text log dot message. Alright, seems good. Let's test it. Click on test 1, send a message. Hello, test 1. Hello world. Send. Oh, we have received 2 chat logs here, but we haven't displayed it. Okay, to display it, I actually have to invoke the chat controller update views from here. Chat controller equal to mvc.getController chat, and the chat controller dot update views with the action update chat logs, and the argument chat logs equal to chat logs, and channel ID equal to channel ID. It's just that simple. Alright, let's test it. This time hopefully it's work. Test 1 2 3 4. Test 1, send a message. Message 1. Alright, I have successfully displayed all the chat history here. Let's give it some style. Okay, first of all, let's open the message view. I'll replace it with a new component. I'll replace the h3 here with my custom message bubble component, and I'll give it is me equal to this.me. I'll implement the this.me later. Log.sender. So if the message is belonging to myself, I'll give it a different style to the message of other people. Okay. All right, looks good. Let's create the message bubble component. No. JavaScript file message bubble.jsx. First, I need to import React. It's a class component. Message bubble extend React.component. Export default message bubble. Right, in the render function, I'll extract the isMe property and message this.prop. It should be here. And I'll give two different backgrounds depending on the value of isMe. Big BG primary, BG secondary, and the messages of myself will be on the right. Align self, and the messages of other people will be on the left. Right. Remove these two div, and I'll give this a P. This will be the message. And I'll give this the class name of text light message bubble text break, and then the background, and finally the align style. Right, go back to my message. Need to import this one. Alright, let's test it. Click on the test one user, send the hello message. Oh, there are some bugs, I think. Oh, it shouldn't have the log that message like this. I should pass in the message equal to log that message, and the message bubble can be like this. Okay, let's test it. Test one, hello message. Okay, looks good, but that is actually my message. It should be to the right and have the blue background. This is because I haven't defined this .me yet. So let's do it now. Go back to the constructor. I can easily get the values for this .me equal to the socket proxy .get instant .connection .username. All right, let's test our application again. Send another message. All right, the style looks good now. Let's test with two users. Right, localhost 3000. Login. I'll log into the test one user and send a message to the user test. Hello test. You can see here it received all the chat history, and then the user test also received a hello test message. All right. So but the problem is when I click on a another user. So the chat history should change accordingly. So how to do that? So in the chat get channel request, we should provide the chat history when sending the response back to our client. So let's open the server code and open the chat request controller. So let's copy the channel messages from the send message request and paste it to the get channel request. And I'll add a new param, chat logs, which is the channel messages. All right, and in my client socket proxy, in the get channel API, I need to extract the chat logs here as well, and then I need to call chat controller update view as similar to what we have done before. All right, let's test our application again. Login. Here is the test 1, and here is the test 2. The test, sorry. All right, let's chat with the user test 1. Chat with the user test. You can see when I click on a user, it successfully pulled all the chat history. And now if I chat hi and hello, so we can, so that is the, we have successfully implemented the chat application. Okay, all right, but the final thing I want to do is to separate the chat section from the user list. So I'll provide, let's go back to my message view, and I'll give the user list the sidebar class name, and let's test it. You can see a light gray background here. Great! We have successfully implemented a simple chat application. So I'll finish this tutorial here. Thank you. See you soon. Bye.